I got a crazy hot take here for you. Did you see Michael Jordan slap Malik Monk in the back of the head after Malik Monk ran onto the court and got a technical foul in the game last night featuring the Charlotte Hornets? Jordan came over and he smacked him in the back of the head twice. It's actually kind of funny to get smacked in the back of the head by the greatest of all time, but I want you to think about this for a minute. What would have happened if a white owner had smacked a black basketball player like Malik Monk in the back of the head after he got a technical foul and that had happened and gone out virally? Can you imagine the insane reaction if a white owner had done the same thing that Michael Jordan, a black owner, did to Malik Monk when he behaved in a knuckleheaded fashion? The entire sports media cottage industrial complex would have imploded on itself, demanding that the white owner be fired, saying this was evidence of a plantation mindset. There would have been tons of thought pieces about how far have we really come from slavery if black players are still getting smacked in the back of the head by white owners when they make bad decisions. This would have turned into roots, and Malik Monk would have been freaking Kunta Kinte out picking cotton on the plantation before all was over. There would have been some exaggerated talk about how the owner might as well have brought out the cat of nine tails, might as well have strung him up and whipped him, and how America hasn't really changed at all. Jemele Hill would have probably made $1 billion talking about this. Sean King, he would have been everywhere arguing that no NBA player should ever play again until the owner was forced to sell the team and maybe walk down a Harlem street naked while everybody chanted shame, 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 and pelted him with all different sorts of ridiculousness. This, I'm telling you, ESPN would have rehired Jemele Hill if a white owner had smacked a black player in the back of the head. They'd have been on the phone. They'd have been like, you know what? You called the President of the United States a white supremacist, and you tanked our ratings, and WokeCenter collapsed. But this was the moment you were made for. This is like when the commissioner has to go back and get Batman after the bad relationship. They would have run right up on the roof at Bristol. They would have put the Jemele Hill sign up in the sky. It would have just been a broken cracker to just throw up in the sky. I'm going to make myself laugh. It would have been a big broken cracker. Jemele Hill's argument, like it's like the Batman has the bat signal. They would have just thrown up a broken cracker, strobe light over ESPN. Jemele Hill would have strapped in that suit, and she would have been back on the lot in 10 seconds, walking right in that studio to talk about how racist the NBA was even in 2018. Y'all know that I am 100% telling the truth. This would have been the greatest moment of Jemele Hill's career. But I say all of this for this reason. Most people laughed it off because it was Michael Jordan, and they didn't turn it into a larger racial issue. Why can't we do that with all stories in sports? Why can't we assume that people are not awful? Why can't we assume that somebody is not a plantation owner? Why can't we assume that an owner who might happen to be white could have been like, I can't believe my knucklehead player did that, and that he would have done the same thing to a white or black player because he was just frustrated over the stupidity of it? Why can't we assume better things as opposed to worse things? One of the, I think, worst things about social media in general is that immediately when an action happens, by and large, people automatically assume the absolute worst about the person involved. They don't stop for a moment and say, you know what, maybe this isn't that big of a deal. They immediately assume the worst possible situation. And then everybody overreacts. I'm not even kidding about this, by the way. If a white owner had done what Michael Jordan did to Malik Monk, I'm not kidding when I say certainly he would have been suspended by the NBA. Adam Silver definitely suspends him. And I think there's probably a good chance that they would have demanded that he sell the franchise, and it would have turned into a massive, ridiculous, over-the-top racial incident. Right? Period. Yet Michael Jordan does it, and everybody just kind of laughs it off, including Malik Monk, including the team, even when the defense is a ridiculous defense. Did you see what Michael Jordan said? Michael Jordan today said, and I quote, imagine a white owner says this. Hornets owner Michael Jordan said it was, quote, a tap of endearment. After what? And then he said, Jordan told the AP there was no malicious intent. It was like a big brother and little brother. No negative intent, only love, exclamation point. Can you imagine if a white owner said it was a tap of endearment, said, oh, it was like a big brother and little brother, and then said no negative intent, only love? That would have led to an even longer suspension. And then it would be another story about how disrespectful white owners are of black players. And then inevitably there would be something they'd done in the past that somebody else had said was racist. They'd find like 3 people that decided they didn't like playing for him. And then he would inevitably be forced to sell the team. He would be publicly branded a racist plantation owner, and his public life would be over. That's what would happen. You know this. You know that's the way the story would go. All I'm saying is think about it for just a moment. Think about, for just a moment, how that would have been handled.